everywhere.
Can you hear me now?
Everywhere. Everywhere.
Yes, right from your Android or iPhone. Download the Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go, we go. Everywhere we go, we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome, and thanks for joining us here on another wonderful Wednesday edition of Talk Today as we invite you to be a part of the discussion. A few minutes of open line and then a chance to chat and talk about the upcoming Jubilee events, and then some more open line thereafter. 8949-8037, toll free with the compliments of flow if you so choose. 1-800-534-8255. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow, Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Hey, 949-8037. 949-8037. Or toll free with the kind compliments of flow whenever you want to share a thought with us. A comment. You may just have a query. It may be a probative question that you need to ask. 1-800-534-8255. Of course, you can WhatsApp 925-3261, and you can send us a voice note if you want to engage in that way as well. What's been interesting in the last few hours in particular, in the immediate aftermath of yesterday's show, and then a few hours into the evening, and even this morning, a number of you have said, we've been looking at the idea of how we engage with our environment, and for many, it is unfortunate that we don't look sufficiently at our impact on our environment, our working environment. To what degree are we contributing to the toxicity in the environment, the level of disquiet and discontentment among our staff, as the managers, as our colleagues, as fellow employees? What are we bringing to the workplace? Even in our neighborhoods, how do we behave? Maybe we're on the yard on the weekend or even a weekday, early morning or late evening, tending to our garden. What is our behavior? Not just the music we may be playing to entertain ourselves, but the activity. Perhaps we're trying to work on the boat or the car. Maybe we're renovating. But to what level of consideration are we having with regard to that activity at that time with respect to our neighbors? And then the political climate, the political environment. Are we constantly bemoaning the government and decrying everything they do? Are we drawing alongside, and not only to hold them accountable, but to offer up solutions? And then the actual physical environment. What is our impact on climate change or global warming? And for some of us, we get caught up in the semantics. For others, we say, well, which is it? Is there a difference? Does it even matter? Is it real? But the sheer fact is that what we do affects us and affects others to varying degrees, and for some, it's for ever and ever and ever and ever and a day. Now, a couple of our youth have always feel honored and privileged when we can engage them, as they've shared. They, have been told that they are, the future. And as I've said to them, and perhaps I'll say this publicly and ask you to think about it, and maybe after our guests leave and we return to the discussion, to, check me on it. Is it right to say? But as I said, to our future, when we look at it, is it bright and beaming? And as I said to our youth, is it that the youth are our future? Or is it that the youth are today? And if they are today, can they wait until tomorrow, 10 years from now, to have a voice, to exercise their voice, to take action? And what does that action look like? Now, for many of us, we probably believe that we were raised in an environment, or were told that was the environment in which people were raised. Well, you should be seen and not heard. And that may be the case, but should it be today? And for those of us who were not, is that why we're willing to speak more publicly, more candidly, more willingly? And if we do, how is what we said received? How is what we said shared? And they say there's a time and place in a manner in which you say what you say. Not just to whom, but how and when and where. Now, maybe there is a sense of urgency. We have a lot of public pundits getting even great recognition, even in their small space or on the global stage. Whether it's deserving or not, whether it's just a sense of, people patting themselves on the back, irrespective. But where is the concerted effort by the majority? And where is civil society and righting the wrongs? And where is, as one of our, perhaps most astute callers always champion, where is the courage that it should exist among a people to do the right thing? I believe it was Martin Luther King Jr. who said, it's never, it's always the right time to do the right thing. Now, are we doing it? Or do we have the courage to stand? And is it that we recognize that we may have to be that lone voice initially? But what if, in the absence of that voice, others are not encouraged to stand and be courageous? And we can talk to just because we like to hear ourselves speak. We can talk because the words we say flow nicely and we get praise for the eloquence and the like. But if the talk, as they say, is cheap, if it's no action, and that action isn't brought about by force or by the gun, it's brought about by dialogue and diplomacy, a sense of discourse intended to effect positive change. So as we consider our next topic, perhaps you would be willing to revisit later on in the program and join me and talk about just that, the courage, the importance of our youth taking a stance and being encouraged to do so now, not 10 years from now. Think about it. If we educate our youth, we instruct them, we give them a sense of feeling empowered, and then they either A, leave our shores and take with them all that they have and make a more meaningful contribution elsewhere, well, it'll be beneficial to that other place, but we would have lost that meaningful impact from them. But that would be better than, alternative B. They return, they're discouraged, disheartened, feel a sense of disappointment and disillusionment, lose that sense of hope, and they just exist unfulfilled, unsatisfied, and a society, denied of their potential and promise. So let's try to see if we can do what would probably be, option C. Ensure that they are encouraged and empowered, educated, informed, involved, and engaged, and we send them to advance their sense of acumen. It could be from one shore or elsewhere. It could be a combination of both, and they feel a sense of ownership and connectivity to our islands and to the people. And as a result, they understand that they're required, they're obligated, they're invited, they're actually expected, and they're nurtured to take up the mantle, because it affects us all, and they will be willing to pass the baton because we have been willing to pass it to them. They don't have to take it, we don't have to withhold it. It's a transition. Think about it. Give me a shout later on in the program as I get ready to go to the break. I believe our guests are being assembled, my friend. Or if they are, we shall welcome them to the studio, and we will have a talk about the slew of events for the upcoming Jubilee. I don't believe there are many people, if any, who would not look at the person of Queen Elizabeth II and not say she's an honourable lady and as an example to many, irrespective of her perspective on, entitlement and privilege, on the colonial system that existed, on whether, as we see in the UK, often debated whether the monarchy is an antiquated, outdated thing that needs to be repealed and replaced, or what have you. The fact that respect begets respect, and she's the most respectable lady and most respectful and deserving of her respect. And through her example, we've seen a sense of graciousness and hospitality, humility, and perhaps from that we can draw examples for our own lives, male and female, young and young at heart alike. 8949-8037, toll free to compliments of flow at 1-800-534-TALK. Let's pause and take a break. When we come back, please rejoin us.
Subway is serving up a special new sauce, bursting with flavor in every bite. The new Savory Collection is a tropical sweet and spicy sauce made with a combination of spices, habanero peppers, thyme, onion, black pepper, ginger, citrus juices, and molasses.
So good.
Wow.
Sensational.
Delicious.
Subway's Savory Collection pairs perfectly with our oven roasted chicken or steak sub. Savor the flavor. For a limited time, only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Town. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
The DG's 5K takes off this Sunday, May 29th, 6:30 a.m. at the Government Administration Building. But if you're not quite the morning person, you can still support the DG's 5K within your community and help raise for the Cayman Islands Cancer Society, the Alzheimer's and Dementia Association of the Cayman Islands, and the MS Foundation. Purchase your DG's 5K 2022 shirt this Thursday or Friday, the 26th or 27th of May at the Government Administration Building, and walk or run anytime this weekend. Don't forget to share your photos on social media using hashtag DG's 5K Challenge.
Join us on June 8th for the annual RF Economic Outlook Conference, where speakers include Dex Torok, executive at Facebook and Google, John Cidilettis, geopolitical consultant to the U.S. Department of State, Keith Herman, serial tech entrepreneur and blockchain expert, and global innovation strategist Sean Kanungo. Registration is now open. Find out more at rfeoc.com.
Tune in Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. for the Daily Sports Report, covering local, regional, and international sports. Proudly brought to you by Dr. Wayne Porter, offering a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. And thanks for joining us. And have an opportunity now to talk about the upcoming Jubilee events. And in the studio, Mr. Alfonso Wright, together with Mr. Vicky Wheaton, and my best school days thing I would say, Vicky Wheaton, but I'll not do that today, just yet. With great respect to Mr. Vicky, though. Alfonso, good afternoon, man. It's good to see you again.
Good afternoon.
How are you been, my friend?
Happy to be here. Yeah, it's been a while.
All right, man.
I'm doing good, thank you.
Oh, you look awesome. Man. Miss Victoria, always a pleasure.
Yes, it's very nice to be here. I have to say, walking into Radio Cayman just brings back floods of memories for me. No, really. I mean, I think about when I was a kid, and you remember when you have to put in a birthday request for somebody to have it read out on the radio. You'd write it down and you'd bring the piece of paper to the front desk and hand it in, and then you'd be listening on the radio to hear if the birthday request goes out. What was it, about 7 o'clock at night or something they used to do it?
Yeah, my request? Was it my request or my request?
See, this is, thank you for reminding me, because what I did one time, I came and I was honored that my sister dropped me, and it brought the request in, so the next night we'll play, and it was coming on. And because, the family weren't there yet, in order to make sure they would hear it, I turned the radio off until they came. So that when they came back, I turned it back on so it would be ready for them to play.
Vicky, you saw that coming a mile away, right? You saw that coming a mile away.
Yes, I really did.
I worked on that joke at least, I don't know.
At least 2 seconds.
I would just say, 3 maybe.
Oh, my God.
No, but this is where the laughter and the banter, and this is, I think, what makes Radio Cayman such an integral part of the Cayman Islands. And here we can talk about the Jubilee and, from a perspective, what Her Majesty represents as a person. I think it's been inspiring to be in some place for a length of time is amazing. To be in such a position, just to be alive for that time is incredible. And as a country and as a Commonwealth to come on board, so we've got a lot of things to celebrate. I mean, I'm going to even do my hair.
My goodness me. They'd take about as long as that joke took to.
And she's performing nightly, people. All right, so we got some good things coming on. I'm glad to have seen part of the calendar and even some of the things that transpired. Alfonso, should we say ladies first?
Sure.
Okay, Miss Susan, come on. Oh, sorry, Victoria.
Riotous.
Ooh, I'm just teasing you. But no, it is, when you think about it, as June rolls in, many of us look forward to not just the holiday, but the fact that we have the Queen's birthday parade. And this year, we get a 2-for-1, a long weekend. There are some good things happening every day and almost all month long in a sense. So I know we could fast forward and maybe focus on some of the good things that you have to be hosting.
Well, I mean, there's a whole bunch of things going on. And as you know, we've already kind of kick-started with a number of events. They had the tea party at the National Gallery. They had the Cayman Auto Show in town, which was amazing. I always say that you never realise the vehicles are on this island. I keep thinking that there's some great basement garage that none of us have seen.
There is.
That they keep these cars in, and then they just bring them out for these shows, because that was amazing. The organisers of that did a fabulous job. So the committee's been working very hard, and we're very excited about all the different events we've got going on that long weekend. All I'll say to the members of the public is to make sure they schedule their time properly and get a good amount of sleep so that they can come out and appreciate everything that's going on. And Alfonso is going to speak in more detail about some of those events, like the air show. We've got the concert, the Queen concert going on at Sandbar, next to Sandbar in Georgetown. That's on the Saturday night.
So the band Queen?
With fireworks. No. Yes, the band Queen, dear. Okay. I can't believe you're still on the radio. All right. No, Freddie Mercury is no longer with us.
You sure?
Yeah.
First time early, man.
Pretty sure. I read the news.
Okay.
So I was assisting with a concert at the beginning, and that's kind of been taken over now, and that's taken on a life its own, and I think that's going to be an amazing event. So the main thing I'm focusing on right now is the Platinum Jubilee Wee Royal Tea. And that is happening at the Botanic Park on Sunday, June the 5th from 1 till 3 p.m. And we're really hoping that lots of families are going to come out for this. This is mainly geared towards younger children, sort of 12 and under. But of course, all ages are welcome to come out for it. And the Botanic Park, as you know, is a beautiful setting regardless. But we're going to have a tent there. We're going to have teas. We're going to have nibbles, like mini cupcakes. We're going to have Murph's Kitchen set up. So he's going to have his food truck there if people want to buy something more substantial. We're going to have a maypole. Donna Morris, who's been, the pair of us have been working on this together. She's organised a maypole for it. Lots of photo opportunities. We're going to have arts, crafts, a magic show. I'm going to be hosting it, and it only hit me last night, absolutely honest, that I can't wear sneakers. Because I'm going to be hosting it, I'm actually going to have to dress nicely.
You can wear sneakers all the same. I think so.
Yeah, I don't think the Queen would approve. So I'll be.
Freddie Mercury might.
So I'll be hosting it. We're hoping that the children are going to dress up a bit for the tea party. So I think we're going to have a little fashion parade with all of them, so they can show off their tea party garb. And we're expecting a really good turnout for that.
And not just tea, but tea, as I understand, from Tea Time in Cayman.
Yes, exactly.
And their loose leaf bag. I mean, that is. If you don't like tea, you haven't tried theirs. And when you do, you'll forever enjoy it.
It's fantastic, and they are sponsoring it. So we have cold teas for the children, hot teas for the adults. So yeah, we're very grateful to Tea Time for that.
Yeah, man, they got one. They christened it after Cayman. So that is a delicious one.
Yep.
You like that one?
Yeah, no, I know. And the funny thing is, I actually really do like their teas. And despite the fact that I was born in England, I'm not much of a tea drinker. I'm really not. But I think that's because I grew up in Cayman. You know, I like my cold drinks. I'm not so much one for the hot drinks. But I really do love the Tea Time in Cayman selection, and I think they're going to have some really good ones at that.
Well, Fonzo, I mean, I really know you're not just in spirit and in presence, but you're always instructive. And I think anything you organize, whether it's True Lions, your participation always brings a sense of, calm, because people appreciate that it's going to be done with a sense of, togetherness. And thank you for your participation, whether through offices or Celebrate Cayman for the last part and now part of this. So, what in all that we've done so far and all that's on the calendar, at some point I want to ask you, what would be your favorite, man? That child in you that you would celebrate, the adult in you that you would forever remember and share with generations to come?
Well, you're talking about the Jubilee events.
The Jubilee events. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that I have a favorite.
Come on, it's just between us, man.
Well, it's the children's tea, though. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that I'm more at home and at peace with events that children are involved in. With it. So we will have children involved in most of our events. The tea party, of course, is specifically for them. Adults will bring them, but yeah, it's for the kids. But we also have a Thanksgiving service that's happening at Emsley on the 5th. Sunday the 5th, and we will have Triple C middle and high school choir and stuff involved in that as well. We have the event at Pedro St. James on the 2nd of June, and the National Youth Choir will be involved in that. So just about everything that we're doing that we can have kids participating, we are doing that. So that's why it's a little bit difficult for me to say which is the favorite.
The other thing I was going to say is that what we've really concentrated on is making things accessible to the public, free for the public. So all of these different events, the Queen concert, that is free entrance, the Jubilee, the tea party, from 1 till 3 p.m. it's going to be free entrance to the Botanic Park, so that everybody can come and enjoy it. And Alfonso, I mean, of course, the air show, that's for everybody. There was free entrance for the auto show. So, that's the thing. We're wanting to make sure that the public are coming out for these things, that they are free for them to attend.
Yeah, I think perhaps as we look at it, it's a special time. I think in our year, June always ushers in a sense of preparedness relative to the hurricane season, and maybe when we're looking at that, we can be thankful. You referenced the service of Thanksgiving on Grand Cayman as well as on the BRAC. And on two churches here, a morning service at the Baptist, evening service at Ems, as I understand it, right? So we get a chance to celebrate, to give thanks, and to show that.
The Baptist service is in Little Cayman.
Yeah, on our 3 islands.
Right.
Yeah, thank you for that. So we've got the 3 islands, and we have the service across. Yeah. Thanks for clarifying that.
Absolutely. There's something to do for everyone. This is, I wanted to speak a little bit about the opportunities here. And we here in the Cayman Islands, overseas territory, we have to understand that this is a relatively successful, jurisdiction, financially and otherwise. Some people might disagree with that, but by and large, I think that we are a very progressive and successful jurisdiction, and I think that we must also recognize that a lot of the stability that has brought that success has come because of our association with the Crown, with the UK and the United Kingdom's government, and the Queen being our head of state. And I think it's only fitting that us as a country, while all the other Commonwealth countries have been invited to participate in this, but I can only speak to the Cayman Islands, that I think it's only fitting that we show our appreciation, for Her Majesty, for her many accomplishments over the year. And this is a tremendous milestone by any terms that you want to consider. 70 years as a head of state for, that we can all feel, we can all touch and understand what it has meant to all of us. She was queen before I was born. She's still there. I mean, how often can you say that about rulers, queens, kings? 70 years is just phenomenal. And I think that one of the first things that we did as a government was, we switched her usual Queen's birthday, her holiday weekend, to include another, that Monday, to include a second holiday, the Friday before. So we have the Friday and the Monday, our holidays here in the Cayman Islands. And while I know a lot of people take opportunities of these things and travel, I think there's quite a few people who are still going to remain on the island. COVID is still real out there, and I think people are very conscious of that. So we are hoping that all of these events are going to be well attended. We've tried to do something for everyone. We've had a few events that have gone on before, one of the first being a special parliamentary service that was in commemoration of the date that she actually became queen in February of 1952. And the car show Vicky mentioned was a tremendous success.
It was great.
It was just I speak only from what I've heard and seen. I did not get to go to it, but by all indications, it was an awesome success. The National Gallery, National Museum have all been involved. Mm-hmm. There's been the Baton Parade that has gone on already. And there's still an exhibition down at the Legislative Assembly building that people can go in and see just about any day that the Legislative Assembly is open. Mm-hmm. And that will go on until the end of June.
And we've had the tree planting initiative as well. So
absolutely. That's ongoing. So one thing that I also want to say is that while the bulk of these events are happening around the Jubilee weekend, we're celebrating the Platinum Jubilee the entire 2022. So things can go on and will happen. As a matter of fact, there are plans right now for some additional things to happen after we're through with the Platinum Jubilee weekend, to take a few events out to the districts where we can interact and allow some of our older generation who are more closely connected, who feel a little bit more connected to Her Majesty, and take some events out to them rather than expecting them to come into town to see everything that we do.
Well, let's pause, take a short break, come back, we're going to revisit the calendar, a reminder for the party on Sunday. I'm thinking that the Thursday evening for the official beacon lighting is something that might want to participate as well. But we'll talk about it and tell people some more. Miss Vicky and Alfonso are our guests. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
JN money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN money, I go send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use your money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the year again as the New Self-Help Foundation presents Gratitude, the 21st Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Sunday, June 26th at the Hartwell Theater. Performances by UCCI dancers, Mariah Praise, Radiance Dance Studio, Andrea Rivera,
May not be thunder crashing down.
Dream Chasers Cayman, hosted by former Miss Cayman Universe, Anika Connolly and Lloyd Barker. Part proceeds from the Talent Exposition will benefit the Pines Retirement Home. Prepaid tickets available at Funky Tanks, Winner Circle Sports. Tickets are $15, $20 at the gate. Gratitude. The 2022 Talent Exposition of the Arts, Sunday, June 26th at the Hartwell Theater. Gates open at 5 p.m. Show starts 6 p.m. Get your tickets today.
After more than 20 years, the Cayman Islands Air Show is back. Start your Queen's Platinum Jubilee weekend on Friday, June 3rd by watching a thrilling air display on Public Beach, 7 Mile. Witness amazing acrobatic maneuvers as world-class pilots put on a stunning show. Then see the planes and meet the aviators at the Cayman Airways hangar. Parking permitted at designated sites with free shuttle buses to the events. For all the details and event lineup, visit CaymanAirShow.com. The Cayman Islands Air Show returns June 3rd.
I am Roshana Hydes, your Miss World Cayman Islands. The Miss World Cayman Islands 3rd Annual Envirowalk 5K is on Sunday, June 26th, 6:30 a.m. at Safe Haven. Join us and encourage others to help achieve a more sustainable future. I'm racing against His Excellency the Governor. I'm planning to win, but maybe I'll be nice and let him finish first. Register now on ticketsplus.ky. For corporate discounts and more information on Envirowalk, contact missworldcayman@gmail.com.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And as we invite you to be a part of the upcoming Jubilee events, there's much on the calendar. Honored to speak to Miss Alfonso Wright and Victoria Wheaton as our guests to tell us. And Alfonso, it's something about the deference that the Commonwealth has for Her Majesty. And as you were referencing as we went to the break, our older generation in particular, as they have this affinity for Her Majesty, some of whom are the same age or relatively close by. Some were just mere children, not yet in double digits when she ascended the throne. And so they grew up, as you said, you were not yet born until about 20 years after she. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, see, there I go, man. For that, I'll take my five spot. But so the events are coming up, and we've already had a few wonderful events thus far. I think the Monday holiday was fitting for the car show, all the other things. But as we roll into the calendar of official calendar events, take us through some of the things and we can talk more about them.
Sure. Thank you very much. Before I do that, I want to say, though, that this is a mobilization of dozens and dozens of individuals helping out and organizing here. Vicky is, in private sector, but here, alongside us, working and taking on individual responsibility for a particular event. And we have that kind of all around, a lot of people involved here and wanting to make a difference. So, Vicky, thank you. And I also want to say thanks to all the other individuals who serve on the steering committee or the other subcommittees or those on the periphery who may be just involved in one or two things. It really does make a lot of difference with the commitment of our community.
Yeah, I mean, there's got lots of people that are very, very busy but have put across their time to do this, which has been wonderful. But, I mean, do you hear the way that Alfonso is speaking right now? This is the way he speaks all the time. He's very calm. I was saying to you in the break, very much the voice of reason. So you've got myself who get very dramatic about things, and Alfonso is just,
the voice of reason, reassuring.
Calm.
Yeah. That's what we call him, a reassuring Fonzie.
Thanks, Vicky. Yeah, well, I do my best. I found that that's the best way for me to operate, to get things done. I got to ease back and think about what I say before I say it and what I do before I do it. Okay.
Complete opposite. I just throw my hands around, let the chips fall where they may.
I want people to remember that the historical exhibition and gallery event is going on at the Legislative Assembly. Yeah. People can go there all the time and do that. On June 2nd, we have the official beacon lighting, which takes place at Pedro St. James. That actually starts at the main event starts at about 7, although we will have some steel pan music going on from about 6 in the afternoon. So as you come in, you'll be greeted by some form of music. We have the National Orchestra. It's going to be on stage. That's going to be quite a treat. The National Youth Choir performing there. We also have our folk singers are going to be performing on there, and we will have a local group called Calypso Tea performing after the beacon lighting. The beacon lighting actually happens at 9:15. That is a time that we had no choice, and that's when it's happening throughout the Commonwealth. And our designated time is 9:15. So there's going to be some things that will be happening before that, including bagpipe music leading up to the lighting of the beacon at 9:15. We will also be having food trucks and stuff like that. There are people who will be selling food. We realize that with an event like that, because we're hoping to get in excess of about 500 people at Pedro St. James. Like Vicky said earlier, all of these events are free. There's no admission charge for any of it. But we also have to be mindful of parking and keeping the roads clear and so on. So we're making arrangements for parking at the Baptist Church and the Savannah Playground and additional places if we have to. But doing that, we're providing a shuttle, because we will have a lot of elderly people, we believe, that will be coming to these things as well. But if people have kids and stuff and may have issues walking, we'll have a shuttle service working throughout the night, back and forth, taking people to the venue or back to their cars. So that's happening there at Pedro St. James. In addition, in connection to the beacon lighting, we will have, for the first time, I believe, in the Cayman Islands, an official crier, where at 2:00 on Thursday afternoon, we will have someone in the middle of Hero Square make an announcement, read a proclamation about the beacon lighting that's happening in the evening. I dare hear ye.
Okay.
I dare say
that's the first I've heard of it.
Well, it's a well-kept secret, and I'm going to let out another big secret here today. We have a local celebrity who has accepted the duties of crier. What we will have and accompany him out there will be Mr. Dealey Banks and his daughter. The conch shell is what we use. That's our signal event for events. And Mr. Dealey Banks will be there with his conch shell along with his daughter, and our local celebrity, Mr. Craig Marin. You want to get Vicky some water? She hasn't caught her breath yet.
I know. It's just
Craig is it can take your breath away.
This is an overflow of information.
We'll be making that announcement, and Dwayne, I don't know if it told you yet, but Radio Cayman should be carrying that portion of it live.
Hopefully,
is what we're hoping. So that happens on Thursday at 2:00, and then we move on to Pedro St. James later on in the evening. Pedro St. James is going to be a laid-back event. We're calling it Platinum Jubilee Beacon Lighting and Music on the Lawn. So we're making arrangements for people to be able to stand around cocktail tables, sofa-type seating, bean bags. We want people to relax, to come and relax in the atmosphere, to really appreciate some good local entertainment, good food, and so on. Yeah.
I actually, again, I'm on the committee, but there's so many things. I mean, as you can tell already, I genuinely didn't know about the town crier. There's so many different things going on. It's amazing. It's really impressive what they've put together. I have my own question. So we're doing the beacon lighting at 9:15. Are all the other countries doing it at the same time in their own time zone, or is it a staggered thing?
In their time zone.
In their time zone, we're all doing it at the same time.
Right. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why the 9:15 as funds are shared. We have the break. We got some other things to talk about, and if it's okay, we'll take the break now. But if you
no,
all right,
we'll come back.
I came to Radio Cayman to learn about what's going on with the Platinum Jubilee, and I'm on the committee.
No, but this is why people tune into Radio Cayman. It's official, it's credible, it's timely,
and you're the host.
Yeah, but
I mean, come on now.
We've been meeting once a week. I know you say you're going for a break, but you started this. But,
yeah, of course.
So we're meeting more frequent now. But it would be, we usually take about 2 hours, and you have to understand that these are private. Most of these are private individuals who are assisting with these events, and the meetings are usually about 2 hours. And if we went through every single item and every single meeting, you'd have 3 or 4 hour meetings. So that explains a lot.
Yeah, so that's why it's sort of staggered with the knowledge. It started off with we were meeting every 2 weeks, and then as we kind of when we honed in on who's in charge of what events, we've ended up going off and concentrating on those. So.
Yeah, and the chairman of our steering committee is our own CAPSEC, Sir Samuel Rose, is the chairman of the steering committee, and his passion for culture and entertainment and things historical. So his fingerprints are all over.
He's been a great head of the committee.
Exceptional leader.
All right. Yeah. Well, with that, let's go into our news and hear what our team has in store, and then return and learn more. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. Cayman Islands Red Cross launched its Ukraine crisis appeal on March 3rd. Since then, $131,000 was raised until the appeal's closing date on April 10th, with donations coming in from all sectors of the public. In international news, the 19 children and 2 teachers killed in a school shooting in Texas were barricaded in a single classroom by the gunmen, officials say. The attack happened on Tuesday at the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. The children killed were aged between 7 and 10. The shooter, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, barricaded himself into a classroom before opening fire. British supermodel Kate Moss has testified that her ex-boyfriend Johnny Depp never abused her, contradicting a claim made by the actor's ex-wife Amber Heard. She claimed that she heard rumors that Mr. Depp once pushed Miss Moss down a flight of stairs. Over the course of the 6-week trial, the court has heard vastly different versions of what transpired between the two during the volatile 2-year marriage. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Sollins.
For the latest in news and information,
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. And thank you very much for joining us as we invite you to be part of the discussion to learn more about the Platinum Jubilee events. Mr. Alfonso, right? And Vicky reading our guests. And, you know, I think we're excited to see some of the things on Thursday in particular as Mr. Alfonso shared with us, you know, the town crier.
I know,
it's like a Shakespearean play almost, right?
Craig Merrin, it just makes sense to have him out there. What a terrific choice.
And Alfonso was so kind, you know, dubbed him as, you know, local celebrity. I mean,
but he is.
Yeah, I mean, an Olympian, chairman of, you know, the museum board.
Absolutely.
Musician, visionary.
Yeah, and if you ask him, I mean, poet laureate.
Craig will be terrific.
Yeah.
He'll be a great choice.
So 2 p.m. on the expected, and Deal going to be in tow with his daughter.
Yes.
Have you seen her? You know, he's training her to make gigs and blow the conch shell.
I've seen her. I've seen her with the conch shell, and
coming to come.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody told him yet, but she actually does it better than him.
Don't say that, man.
Live on the radio.
And these are your friends, you know. Can we edit that part? No. But this is what passing the baton is all about, in a sense, right?
That's how we should be.
That's how it should be, man. And the conch shell is synonymous with those announcements. The fishermen will come in from the shore, and before they hit it, you know, you would know by they blow the shell that they come in and who it is. So
yeah,
this is a good way.
Well, the conch shell did two things, though. It told you that fish was now available, but it also signaled that they were back home safe.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that was sometimes a lot more important than whether you got fish or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think this would be fitting as a symbolic gesture as to what it designates. So we've got that on the 2nd.
So Friday, and the beacon lighting happens in the BRAC right alongside the same times that we're doing it, and it's happening at the Christopher Columbus Park in the gardens, they call it, in the BRAC. And District Commissioner Mark Tibbetts is feverishly working with his committee over there, mirroring what's happening here in Grand Cayman. So just about everything that they're doing, with the exception of one event that I'll speak about a little later on. So Friday is I think it's been about 11. I'm going to say about 11 years that we haven't had an air show.
Wasn't it? I thought
Longer
it was
than
20.
It was 20?
Yeah, long.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was shocked when I saw how many years ago it was.
Maybe I got that wrong, but it's been quite.
Because when we both had hair. Come on now, you know.
Yeah, 11 years puts us back to.
You didn't calculate?
No, I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure they said it was something like 20
yeah.
It's about 2 decades now.
Or maybe it's 21 years. I'm just messing up there.
You know, when you were 5 years old, Alfonso.
4.5.
But it's been a long while. So here was an opportunity during the Platinum Jubilee celebrations to bring back the air show.
Do we know some of the planes that are coming in this time?
I can tell you a few of them. So this starts at 10 a.m. At the public beach. And so we're going to be having the usual, some parachute jumpers and stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
We have the static display that'll happen at the airport at 2 o'clock. Am I getting that? Yeah.
So this is the Friday.
I want to make sure, that I get the aircraft. Yeah, 2:30 is the static display at Owen Roberts International Airport. And you know, this we had a bit of a struggle. I will say this to you, in some of the negative world events that are going on right now.
Yeah.
Getting military aircraft and so on was a bit of a struggle, but we persevered, and now we've been getting offers in the last 2 weeks that we can't. It's just too late for us to be able to accommodate all of them. But this is what happens. You talk about you build it and they will come. Classic example here. We were just couldn't figure out whether or not it was worth it to go ahead. But right now we know that we have 2 helicopters coming from the U.S. Somewhere within our jurisdiction, our geographical area here, and one of them will be a Black Hawk and they're going to be a Chinook that we are sure of. We have 2 Ticanos. These are fighter aircrafts that are coming via the Dominican Republic government. They, of course, we'll have our own police helicopter and MRCU plane and all those other little things that are so near and dear to us will also be a part of this. But we also have a very unique aircraft, an exhibition, acrobatic, sure if that's what you call all of it, but called a Yak 110. That's coming here. It's actually a custom-made aircraft. They already took 2 planes and made one. So they join by the wings, and the other sides are still like it was, and they added a jet engine in the middle of it. So a wonderful acrobatic, for stunts and stuff like that, aircraft that's going to be here for the air show. A few additional things will be happening, but I think that's enough right there. We don't have, as we speak now, any of the big military carriers and all that kind of stuff coming right now. But hopefully this moves back to an annual event now, is what the plans are here. And the Department of Tourism is very involved in this. As a matter of fact, they are taking the lead along with Mr. Richard Smith and his crew in organizing this event. So static display will happen at 2:30 at Owen Roberts International. Well, there's usual security and stuff around that, but it's also open to the general public, and we know that this is one of the events that's usually very well attended.
Yeah. It's always been, I think back to the time even when the Concorde came early on with the visit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But I fear it was when the Harrier jumped jet. You remember?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I was holding my hand to make sure I was safe and navigating the runway.
Bless.
Yeah.
Now,
well, such a good older brother.
Yeah, I mean, we're hanging out on the beach and watching all the planes going. I mean, what I love is the variety of planes that we do have coming down. It's a really nice variety of planes. So I think anybody will be thrilled to go out and watch the displays.
Absolutely. So they're the highlights. Other things are happening, but the parachute jump is always an exciting thing, to happen. And we just want people to be safe, to do things the right way, do silly stuff. We're also asking people to be mindful of drones. I think we're only going to be able to allow official photography and official drones to be in the area at the time. Life is different now. Back when we had our last air show, there were no drones around the place. So that is something that's going to be very, very heavily regulated during this period. Safety must always comes first.
Safety, indeed, yes.
We cannot handle any mishaps here because of carelessness or somebody just wanting to get their own photos and stuff done.
And that Friday is a public holiday as well.
That Friday is a public holiday.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They just want to say this, that the rain date for the air show for Cayman would be Friday, in case weather's too bad and we can't do it. And then the air show is scheduled then for the BRAC on Saturday, and that is at 2 p.m. 12 to 2. at the Charles Kirkconnell International Airport. And if that happened, then that would then move to Sunday for rain or inclement weather is what it is. But we're praying. I think everything's going to be fine here. We're going to have good weather for just about everything is my prayer. This is not something, again, that usually happens, that the BRAC is able to participate in the air show, but we've made sure that we could do that this year, and there will be a few flybys for Little Cayman as well. Okay.
It's very Top Gun flyby. I know.
Yeah, I look at you. She's like,
like permission.
Yeah, there you
but
go.
But you realize that Top Gun is premiering now.
I know. Oh,
You know?
don't think I don't know. It's circled in red on my calendar.
You're taking me to see it with you, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had that arrangement.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
do.
know what he's talking.
You can only go to Top Gun if you have hair.
You guys and your hair.
I have to wait until
I have to wear sunglasses, okay?
I have to wait until it comes on TV on Dish Network before I can watch it.
Yeah,
so.
well, you know what? I have to wait to come on network TV because I can afford it over the air. You know? So I'll probably see it in a couple of years.
Okay. You want me to continue, or you want
Miss Vicky? You want to? I know you have to get on to other
Yeah.
stuff, right? Remind us of your event.
Well,
Hosted
I
by
mean,
Vicky.
yeah, exactly. Well, as Alfonso was saying, we've got the air show on the Saturday at the BRAC, and then that night we have got this Queen tribute act that's going to be in Georgetown next to Sandbar. We're also going to have a street food festival going on that day. They're going to have supporting local bands before the main act. Again, that is free entrance to the public. And I believe, again, there will be extra parking sorted out for people as well, right, for that?
For
the concert in town?
On Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, again, free entrance for everybody to go along to that street food festival as well as the concert. That's happening on the Saturday night, as well as fireworks. So there will be fireworks that evening in Georgetown. And then the next day, as discussed earlier, it's going to be the Platinum Jubilee, We Royalty at the Botanic Park from 1 till 3 p.m. So we're going to have arts, crafts, nibbles, teas, little fashion parade, magic show. So lots going on there. Maypole dancing. And that's, as I said, from 1 till 3 p.m.
Yeah, and especially you're making arrangements for parking too.
Yes.
Because you need to let people know that with how we know the Botanic Park is. There's some additional property there that will be utilized
so that's
for
going to
parking.
be utilised along with the shuttle. So, so we're going to be doing that tea in the afternoon. And then there is the service at Elmsley later on.
And I want to also say a portion of the tea party, the We Royalty Tea Party.
Go on, say it again.
I know, it sounds right on him. It does.
Yeah, it does. It's a wee royalty party. Come on, Fonzie, look at it.
You know who gave it this name, right?
No. You want to tell us?
You want to guess?
All right.
You point now, clear my throat.
Yes, sir. I won't do that, sir.
But we want to thank Vicky, because Vicky's not just helping to organize, spearheading this, but her company is also providing a good portion of the entertainment that's going to be happening there as a contribution from her.
Excellent. So, the street food festival starting what time of the day on Saturday? Roughly-ish?
What
5-ish?
time is it, the street food festival on the Saturday? I think it's in the early afternoon. I don't have the notes in front of me, actually.
I saw it somewhere, but
yeah,
we'll remind people.
Yeah, that's happening the same day, sort of kind of leading into the concert.
Right.
But yeah, so arts, crafts, magic show, food, drink. I mean, what else do you need?
And
what
the company
else
of
do you
Vicky,
need?
I mean, it's going to be awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. It's hard to believe it's free entrance.
I wholeheartedly agree.
All right.
Okay. So that's on Sunday at the Q2 Botanic Park, 1 p.m., right?
Yeah, that's 1 till 3 p.m. And as I said, in that time, that 1 till 3 p.m. period, it is free entrance to the park.
And if you haven't been, this is another good reason. And I enjoy the tea time at Cayman Teas. The Royal Affair is a nice one. The
Oh, yeah, exactly. No, their teas are fabulous. And I also have to do a shout out to John Loris at the Botanic Park, who is absolutely wonderful. He has been such a help with getting this set up at the Botanic Park. I mean, he is. He's just been absolutely wonderful. So I really do have to give him a shout out for his help.
Well, thank you for that, because I think what separates John from most is not only he's an avid fisherman, but he's an aspiring West Bayer, and that is so important. That's why he's elevated. But to you, Vicky, I join Alfonso in saying thanks. And Sunday will be a special.
No, it's great, really. Well, if you could see how hard everybody is working behind the scenes, believe me, there's a lot of work that's going into this. But I think that's really shown in the events that we've had so far, and that will carry on through that weekend.
All right. Well, thanks very much, and we'll get a chance to engage in the studio again, hopefully. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we've got our date to go and see the film, so
there you go. Okay, Fonzo, you can come too. We'll buy your ticket. It's gonna be good. You know what? What they say, one's lonely, two is company, three's a crowd. What's 4 and 5?
Yeah. A party.
9. Come on, guys. All right, we're going to pause when we come back. Fonzo, you stay with us for a few minutes more and tell us about some of the things.
Yeah, there are still 2 events that I haven't mentioned yet. So.
Well, enjoy your rest of the afternoon, Ms. Vicky. Talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
All right, let's join us after this break, and Fonzo will share with us. Stay tuned.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
The 6:30 p.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britcay. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And very grateful both to Alfonso Wright and Vicky Wheaton for joining us for a few extra minutes as we continue our discussion about the Platinum Jubilee event. So we won't impose on them too much, but hopefully provide sufficient time. There are a lot of things happening almost every day, and as you alluded to, hopefully as the year continues, we'll do more things to continue the celebrations, not unlike we did with Celebrate Cayman.
Yeah. Exactly. Tree planting has been another very important part of this entire thing. And it is also something that's inspired by the overall Platinum Jubilee celebrations in the United Kingdom, that they're encouraging people to do this. And I thought it was very fitting for our unique situation where we just had Hurricane Grace that destroyed a lot of our fruit trees.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good time to refocus, replant, because I love my flowers and my pretty plants and stuff like that. But I like to encourage people to to plant a couple of trees that we can get something to eat from, you know?
That's right, man.
And I always tell people, I remember when I was in Parliament, I encourage people to have at least a breadfruit tree and a coconut tree in your yard.
Mm-hmm.
It's two things that we can do a lot of stuff with.
Yeah,
you know, and they don't require you get them planted. They require no maintenance.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because a mutual friend who will remain anonymous now just reminded me that he will never, and was very adamant that he will never live anywhere that he couldn't plant a breadfruit tree.
Yeah.
So that had to be the criteria. It doesn't matter where it is. You know, if it's a breadfruit tree can be planted in the yard, then he can take a board there.
Well, that's a good way to live.
That's right.
I think that. We can do a lot of things with a coconut and a breadfruit. I just saying.
I like the fact there's no maintenance, which is why I do have a breadfruit tree and a coconut tree, because I kill every plant that requires any kind of loving care. I have what I would call a brown thumb. But yeah, I have got a coconut tree and breadfruit tree.
you can make a coconut dinner with coconut and a breadfruit.
Yeah, but that would mean I would have to cook as well.
I think you missed that translation early. Well, she has an index finger that's good at dialing up stuff.
Oh my! Yes.
Okay, so if we can move to
the Elmsley service, are we at that now on Sunday?
Yes, to the Thanksgiving service that's being held at Elmsley in Grand Cayman. It's being held at the Aston Ready Center in the Barak at the same time at 5 in the afternoon. And Pastor Randa Van Cannel is doing a service over in, I think it's
Little Cayman Baptist Church.
What's the name of the church? I don't know if I had that.
I thought it was always Little Cayman Baptist Church.
Little Cayman Baptist Church, correct. Yeah. That's happening at 11 in the morning. And you know, we're also asking all churches on that day, whether it's the Sunday keepers or the Saturday keepers in the weekend, to reflect, to speak about, you know, service and what it means as Christians or as people who just do things in service of others. The theme for our Platinum Jubilee Thanksgiving service at Emsley is the Spirit to Serve, and that was coined by our the person who was given the main sermon. It's a title of her sermon, and we asked her if we could use it as a main theme for the program. She agreed. It's Reverend Yvette Noble Bloomfield, who is very able in bringing connected messages like this, with connecting people and Bible and giving you the connections as to you know how it works and why it's related and why we should do this and why we shouldn't do that. So she is the main speaker there, but we've done a fairly decent job, I think, of involving as many of the churches around the island and also different denominations. Reverend Chris Mason from Emsley is going to be liturgist. We also have Reverend Jerome Small from the Anglican Church participating, Pastor Torrance Bob from First Assembly of God. We have Pastor Stanwick Miles from Church of God Chapel in West Bay, Pastor Steve Brady from the Kiwanis Baptist Church. We have Pastor Vincent Rose from the Church of God Boddentown, Dr. Iva Hari from the SDA churches, and we have Reverend Ruth Stevenson from the Covenant Moravian Church. I already spoke about Dr. Reverend Yvette Noble Bloomfield as people who will be participating in addition to Premier, Governor, Leader of the Opposition, also a Triple C School, middle and high school choir will be having two performances as well as closing with our national song. So again, a tremendous amount of involvement here. This starts at 5 in the afternoon on Friday. This is going to be carried live because we understand that would like people who can't make it out to also be able to participate here. So that's good on again, all inviting people to come out, inviting people to to tune in if you can't come out, but all the events are free. Okay. On Monday, we have the Queen's Birthday Parade that happens now at Government House, and this happens after the. Did I say Monday?
Monday the 6th of June, right?
Yeah. So the Thanksgiving service happens on the same day that the We Royalty Tea Party is happening. So that's from 1 to 3, and the Thanksgiving service starts at 5. On Monday, Queen's Birthday Parade happens at Government House, and then a garden party at Government House follows the Queen's Birthday Parade, and they considered the grand. There will be some additional service awards will be also given out at that event. Following the garden party at the Governor's, we will have a first ever fireworks display that will have 5 different locations along the west end of the island, simultaneously displayed by Cayman Firepower. Of course, we know that is Graham Rankin. He will be having these fireworks let off on barges outside of the harbor in Georgetown. One off the Coral Beach area. So we are still mindful of COVID and what seems to happen a lot of times now with large gatherings, that we have these spikes in cases. So we were mindful of this when we started planning this back in October last year. And that we would not have just one major fireworks, as we know fireworks brings out thousands of people, and we didn't want that many people congregating in one area. So our reason for doing this now is to spread it over, give more people the opportunity to see the fireworks, but also mindful of the COVID issues. So off the Georgetown Harbor, Coral Beach will have another barge. Off Governor's Public Beach, the beach right next to Governor's, so the people who are attending the garden party at the Governor's will be able to view this there as well. But public can gather at the public beach right next to Governor's. 7 Mile Public Beach, another barge will be off that. And the West Bay Public Beach, just you can help me describe that a little bit better, but the Bogasand area strip. Okay.
All right, so if just before you make the turnoff, go into Turtle Fall, Norris Point, come through the 4-way there.
Yeah.
Henning Beach to some.
Henning Beach.
Close by though.
Yeah. So and this all happens simultaneously. You know, Graham has prides himself with all his electronics and stuff now that he can sit anywhere and trigger firework now. So that's going to happen. So if you want to just take a minute and think about this. That if let's say you were somewhere in the Grand Old House area, you can literally see every one of those fireworks happening at the same time. Plus, from the West Bay Road location, from the West Bay Beach location, you can also see everything.
So it's like cold one, like a horseshoe.
Right back up into town. We again want people to take advantage of this. It's something that we thought the best way to end off the weekend celebrations of Queen's Platinum Jubilee. What better way than by an awesome first time firework display happening here. The challenge that Graham had was that we wanted him to do Cayman Braca at the same time. But he is not good yet.
You told him that? Does he know?
You know I'm gonna pay for this, right? I'm glad we're not taking calls right now. So they're actually doing the BRAC fireworks on the Saturday evening instead, and even that was a challenge because you got to ship stuff up and to Cayman Brac and back that you can't do by plane because of the type of material that it is. For him to get ready to
I
do
thought he was going to swim across with it.
For him to get wet, for him to do it, to do it here on Monday for us. So we thank him, for doing this. And we are sorry that we could not do the BRAC at the same time, but they are getting their fireworks also on Saturday.
Talking about things that we're going to pay for, I can't believe I'm saying this publicly. I was wrong. Oh, do you hear how that sticks in my throat? Yeah. I was wrong. The Street Food Festival is actually happening on the Friday. So the official branded Street Food Festival is happening on the Friday afternoon. It's by Sandbar. That's starting at 3 p.m. There will be food and prizes and entertainment happening on the Saturday before the Queen concert. That event is sort of starting around 1 p.m. for all ages, and they are going to have food and entertainment and prizes leading up to the concert. But yeah, in my defense, when we started... Shut up, Alfonso.
Come on, dude. Be quiet.
But yeah, behave. When we started this whole thing, we had different events on different days, and then depending on availability or how we thought it would work best in the schedule, we moved things around. If that sounds like me making an excuse for why I was wrong, you're absolutely right.
The justification.
Thank you, exactly. Yeah. But yes, we'd moved some things around based on, again, availability and where we felt it worked best in the schedule. But yeah, so I'm officially saying it. I was wrong. All right. My goodness.
Can you say that again? Because we're going to get Joel to fix this properly.
See, I knew I should have left. I should have left when I was going to. So I was out. I was fully
Can we record
clear.
this again?
But Alfonso begged me to stay on this interview, and that's when I found out I was wrong.
Wait, see? It's a good thing I did.
Yeah.
A good thing I did.
This is, think of it now. How many? No, I should be here.
Yeah, you should. There's two more things I need to.
Yes, please.
That's very important that I haven't done. The BRAC fireworks is happening at 8 p.m. on Saturday evening, June 4th.
Not 9, but 8.
At 8.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I also they're doing their own set of promotions and stuff over in the BRAC for that because I think they're doing some additional things as well. To get people out and so on, but I needed to say that that there will also be a Queen's birthday parade in the BRAC and award ceremony in the BRAC on that same Saturday evening, the 4th. On Saturday the 4th at 10 a.m. at District Administration. This is significant because the BRAC has never had a Queen's birthday parade. This is the first time. We're encouraging the people from the BRAC to take advantage of this and support it. It is also our hope that this will be something that will be continued annually.
Yeah.
So Miss Mel, God bless her, has had so many events crammed into the last 2 or 3 weeks, 2 of which, unfortunately, were official funerals. And so she is back and forth to the BRAC right now, making sure that all these happen and then getting back down to make sure that everything is ready for Monday here as well. So there's a tremendous amount of work. People are really putting in some extra time to make sure that all of these things happen.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you both. And I know as you shared, this has been a concerted, consistent effort across the whole team, and to see the country come together, from the food to the festivities, from the fireworks to Lord Graham. I mean, it's all going to be great, right? So.
No, it really is great. And I mean, the thing is, when people see the events, they have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, you're getting a bit of a window into all the discussions that have been going on beforehand, changes in schedules that have made people like myself give out the wrong information. But seriously, there has just been so much going on behind the scenes to create this amazing schedule of events. It's so wonderful to have the sister islands involved. So yeah, the most important thing I think is for everybody to come out and support it and enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah, that's my last word, is to ask people to make time. The government has graciously given us a long holiday weekend, Friday and Monday, and I believe a good way to show our appreciation for that is to support, come out and support, be a part. You know what? This will never happen again.
This is it. It's a once in a lifetime.
Yeah, it's really a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
This will never happen. Well, not in my lifetime. But I think this is a unique situation, unique opportunity, and I think that you should make every effort. Everybody should make every effort to participate in some way, some form or fashion. If not everything, as many things as they possibly can.
Because they really are going to be wonderful events. They really are.
Not true.
Absolutely. Every single one of them.
Well, this is why I think the website gov.ky/Jubilee will be a good way to keep up with. As Vicky shared, it's added things will be updated. You'll be reminded. Thanks, Alfonso, for the announcement of the town crier on the 2nd. Craig is very fitting for that post, and it speaks to what that celebration sort of embodies. And the street food festival is going to be a wonderful day, the air show, and then right after that you can go and enjoy it. So,
and also I should also announce that, as you know, I work for Compass Media, so in next Thursday's paper I will be putting the full schedule of events in that, so everybody can take that and see what they're attending, tick the boxes.
There you go. And platinum.jubilee@gov.ky if you want information. The gov.ky website has the schedule there so far. Thanks again for what you do, Vicky. It's fun. Fonzo, always a pleasure, man. Thank you.
And I want publicly to thank Vicky for accepting my invitation to stay with me until the end here.
I mean, how often does it happen that she says, what did you say?
I didn't ask her on radio to stay, but I'm thanking her on radio for staying.
Yeah. And I'm so glad to have heard that. I mean, more women should be able to publicly pronounce that. What did you say? I was what?
What? That I was... do you mean I was
she's not going to say that again.
No.
She's not going to say
Can
that
you say that again?
Oh, I was wrong. Yeah, all right.
Wow. I you know what?
Enjoy it while you still can.
Yeah. Joel Wilson, you have some work cut out for you now, man. She said it. But
Sterling, you leave that alone while you're
No. I was reminded yesterday that I was beating something, so I'm gonna just but see you when I see you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much for having us. It's been very enjoyable, and it's so nice to share all of these exciting plans with everyone.
Thank you. Fonzo, always a pleasure, man. See you soon.
Absolutely.
Right?
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
All right, we're going to pause and take a break. We'll remind you when we come back about the events. Like I said, gov.ky if you want to see some of the events at the calendar. And open line when we return. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
Subway is serving up a special new sauce, bursting with flavor in every bite. The new Savory Collection is a tropical sweet and spicy sauce made with a combination of spices, habanero peppers, thyme, onion, black pepper, ginger, citrus juices, and molasses.
So good.
Wow.
Sensational.
Delicious. Subway's Savory Collection pairs perfectly with our oven roasted chicken or steak sub. Savor the flavor. For a limited time, only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The DG's 5K takes off this Sunday, May 29th, 6:30 a.m. at the Government Administration Building. Reminder, registration closes this Friday at 6 p.m. $25 for adults, $10 for children, 17 and under. Funds raised will support the Cayman Islands Cancer Society, the Alzheimer's and Dementia Association of the Cayman Islands, and the MS Foundation. Register at racecaribbean.net. Participants, you can collect your race packets at the Government Administration Building on Thursday or Friday between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. COVID-19 protocols will be observed on race day. Participants are asked to do an LFT test before leaving home.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
After more than 20 years, the Cayman Islands Air Show is back. Start your Queen's Platinum Jubilee weekend on Friday, June 3rd by watching a thrilling air display on Public Beach, 7 Mile. Witness amazing acrobatic maneuvers as world-class pilots put on a stunning show. Then see the planes and meet the aviators at the Cayman Airways hangar. Parking permitted at designated sites with free shuttle buses to the events. For all the details and event lineup, visit CaymanAirShow.com. The Cayman Islands Air Show returns June 3rd.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
The annual business surveys are ongoing. The surveys are conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office and seek to measure the economic performance of all local industries. The survey forms for this year were mailed or emailed to all relevant entities operating in the Cayman Islands. The surveys are confidential under the Statistics Act and are exempt from the Freedom of Information Act. Your response matters. Do your part. Fill out and return your survey forms to the Economics and Statistics Office. For assistance in filling up the forms or for more information, visit www.eso.ky or call 244-4676 or 244-4607. Better data, better decisions, better business.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. And just want to not only invite you to share your thoughts with us, but a quick reminder. I know last weekend we were looking forward to the East End, North Side fishing tournament, the Dolphin Derby fishing tournament. Now that's going to take place on this weekend, May the 28th. Everything's still the same. Get ready to go out and launch out on the 28th next weekend. So just a reminder, I'll try to tell you again, it's coming up this weekend. So please go to the tight lines and a safe sense of fishing and fun. So the East End, Northside Dolphin Derby fishing tournament is going to take place this weekend because of the weather that we were expecting last weekend. It had to be postponed, and now it's going to take place on Saturday. I know a lot of the anglers involved going to really enjoy the time out there. It's always fun, man, and I like how they've approached it. The collaboration of the two MPs for the respective districts of East End and Northside, how they've sort of defined the fishing area, how they've said, hey, this is for our district, a way of bringing us together and celebrating. What better way to make sure that you have to be connected to the district? So it's going to be fun. But everybody can be a part of all the other activities and get into the way station, watch who has the biggest tale to tell. Well, open line, 949-8037, toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. Prior to our guest early as we started this show, we were asking a few things from conversations we've been having with a number of people, in particular our youth. Now, some of you might say, well, is that, how the National Youth Policy defines the youth? Some of you say, well, that's, under 40. I think, we would say young and young in heart. But in all honesty, if we look at those under 25, or even those under 21, or we would say, well, the 18 to the 21-year-old, or we would say even the 16 to 21, we see our adolescents. We see the fervor within Sierra Middle School students. The late Dr. Rudy would share that, as a scientist, he would speak to children, whether it was through the invitation to come see his work at his telescope, or whether just in presentations, and the excitement that they had for science and for learning and for knowledge. And then as they progressed through their education, by the time they were in high school, that was sort of beat out of them, as he put it. And we know that there are many educators globally who have been asking, well, what are we doing in the education system as policymakers and teachers, but also as parents in our homes, that is taking the joy out of teaching and learning, and it's just rote memory that they experience, or their parents or grandparents did? Or is it about just reciting and regurgitation? Is it about learning and analyzing, critically assessing, and enjoying? Well, with that in mind, the youth is not, as we've often said, the future. The youth is today. So we're asking you, how do we encourage them? How do we nurture and empower them so that they understand that there's a collective sense of ownership? When we look at the environment and our approach to our sustainability, is it competition or is it cooperation that we should be considering? Think about it. You and your neighbors decide that in your community you're going to work together to ensure certain things. You cooperate and collaborate as opposed to, compete. Well, let's pause and take this break. When we return, we invite you to call and share your thoughts. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
You see how hard it's raining?
Yeah, and I don't have time to fight traffic and get my lunch from Subway. I have so much work to do.
Why don't you order Subway by using the Let's Eat or Bento app? Save time, stay dry, and get your sandwich fast.
I never thought of that. Great idea. I'm going to order now.
Order me a veggie pizza while you're at it.
And a cookie platter for the office.
Too busy at work or home? Is the rainy weather stopping you from dining out? Order your favorite Subway sandwich, wrap, or pizza through the Let's Eat or Bento app with fast and reliable delivery. Subway, eat fresh.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
History has taught us that in crisis, humanity will always respond with innovation. What world-changing technologies will emerge from humanity's latest challenges? How can the Caribbean capitalize on the metaverse, blockchain, hybrid work, and more? Join us at the RF Economic Outlook Conference under the theme Future Forces, World-Changing Ideas, where we will explore the future of work, investments, technology, and more. The journey begins on June 8th. Reserve your seat today at www.rfeoc.com.
Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman are reminding customers that applications must be completed in full or they will not be accepted. In efforts to improve customer service and processing time, only fully completed applications will be accepted. Customers are responsible for providing the required information for the application to be processed and are encouraged to review the application checklist before submission. For guidance, visit www.worc.ky.
The Spring Labor Force Survey is currently being conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office. The Labor Force Survey collects data on employed and unemployed persons. Trained interviewers with ESO ID cards will visit randomly selected households in all districts. The interviewers will exercise appropriate COVID-19 protocols using personal protective equipment. The interviews are confidential in accordance with the statistics law. No individual data will be published or disclosed. Survey data are exempt from freedom of information. For more details, please call the ESO on 516-3329.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back in. Thanks for sharing with us. Hey, 949-837, 1-800-534-TALK, or WhatsApp 925-3261, and share your thoughts with us. And a number of listeners have weighed in as they were listening to Ms. Alfonso and Vicky share earlier about the upcoming Jubilee events. And I think some are anxiously looking forward to the return of the air show. 2+ decades since that's happened, and the notion that here in this time especially we can get a chance to go out again to enjoy what for many is probably one of the best places to be at this time. But perhaps to be reminded too that we are where we are through prayer and petition, through a sense of hard work and devotion, dedication and discipline. But perhaps as we look at Her Majesty, we'll maybe take from her a wonderful example of humility. And if we were to consider our own space and place, how are we acting in relation to others? Are we being considerate and caring? Well, if not, should we? And if we are, can we do so more lovingly and more frequently? Well, give us a shout. If you find the other phone lines are not working, well, try this one, 949-6990, 949-6990. During a quick break, someone sent a message talking to the issue that we were speaking about relative to environment and courage and the children being the future, and had a quick exchange with the individual. And sometimes, as I said to the person, sometimes it's just best to let sleeping dogs lie. Other times it's important that this little thing that may be niggling and nagging needs to be further investigated. The person's perspective is that there is no question we are in this together. We need to work more closely at how we're affecting each other, the lives those around us, and the impact on our physical environment. Now, for some, we might think out of sight, out of mind. They might think that, as this person quickly shared, you are in a remote place, and that little bit of litter and debris really doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's never will biodegrade, or if it'll take 5 years, or it may take 5,000. That's a remote area. You're not going to come back there probably anytime soon. But the sort of perspective that the person wanted to convey was that if, as a public, we do things, but in the end we're not sure of its impact, or if it's actually being received and done on the official side in the way that it is shared publicly. And saying that, they quickly said, well, take for instance what used to happen in South Florida when it comes to recycling a number of years ago. The person shared, this is where they lived for that time, when recycling was started, back in perhaps the late 80s, early 90s. It was, again, this person's perspective, only in limited areas. He remembers the plastic bottles, you could recycle them. Sometimes you could return them and get refunds. The glass and the aluminum cans, you mostly return them to get back your little pennies that you paid as a deposit. And recycling wasn't a big sort of thrust. Fast forward, he said, to a number of years ago, and you had to clean your garbage when you recycle it. There were particular days you put it out for collection, and it was all separated. And as he shared, in the recent years, you combined all the garbage, the paper, the plastic, the aluminum, the glass, all could go into the same receptacle. It didn't have to be cleaned as it had a few years prior, and then it was collected all together and done. And he asked, well, what is it in Cayman? We go to, for those who recycle, we go to designated spots. We put our paper in one bin, we put our glass in another, our plastic in another, and the aluminum in another still. Now, when it's collected, is it collected separately, or is it collected as some allege all at the same time? So 4 receptacles, there's a truck, put it in 4 separate compartments, or collected on 4 separate times, or is it all collected as some of allege? Take it, pick up each one, dump it into the garbage truck, and then take it wherever for whatever. Now, we'll try to reach out to the Department of Environment, to Health, and see if we can get a formal ruling. But as I was saying to him, well, what if it's collected and separated at the site after? His response, well, how much of it is being shipped overseas? Or what remains here? How is that being utilized? Now, some have alleged that as we get into the waste to energy component, a lot of it will be used to create that necessary fuel. Again, we do our part, and perhaps we do it in tandem. We have the news. Well, we're going to see what we can find out during the break. When we return, we invite you to call and share your thought with us and give us your perspective. 949-6990. Of course, 949-8037. And then toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. Yesterday, May 24th, officers carried out a search operation under the Misuse of Drugs Act at an address on Rockhole Road in Georgetown. During the search, a loaded firearm was recovered, a revolver containing 6 rounds of ammunition. As a result, 3 persons were arrested on suspicion of possession of an unlicensed firearm. A man aged 54 of Georgetown and 2 women, ages 38 and 34 of Georgetown. All 3 persons remain in custody as investigations continue. In international news, the 19 children and 2 teachers killed in a school shooting in Texas were barricaded in a single classroom by the gunman, officials say. The attack happened on Tuesday at the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. The children killed were aged between 7 and 10. The shooter, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, barricaded himself into a classroom before opening fire. Staff partied in Downing Street while the rest of the UK was in lockdown with the approval of their bosses, according to Sue Gray's reports. The senior civil servant said many events should not have been allowed, and the PM and his officials must bear responsibility for this culture. The report highlights excessive drinking, with staff being sick, and abusive cleaning and security staff. Warnings about parties breaking COVID rules were ignored, it said. Boris Johnson told MPs he took full responsibility for everything that took place, and he ruled out resigning, saying he's got to keep moving forward. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
We wanna go and dally. Back
Backyard, Caymanian and Jamaican cuisine. 7 Mile Beach might have changed, but Backyard is bringing it back. True Caribbean food in the heart of 7 Mile, just like Mama's home cooking. Brown stew snapper, Cayman style beef, jerk chicken, turtle stew, and the delicious list goes on. Dine in, take out, or order with the Bento app. Backyard, Caymanian and Jamaican cuisine, 269 West Bay Road, or call 746-4603. Backyard, daily lunch specials, and the one-of-a-kind Fun Day Sunday live music brunch.
Backyard. Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. 8949-6990 or 949-8037. Of course, we want you to use the Flow toll-free line at 1-800-534-8255, or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. And on the upcoming Jubilee events, we've had a couple of already as part of it, and then now as June rolls in, we've got a number of things now. The historical exhibition and gallery sort of taking place over at the House of Parliament. Will continue throughout the month of June, but opens up on the 1st, and then there are so many wonderful events leading into the long weekend, including the official Beacon Lightning concert at here on Grand Cayman at Pedro, and then on the Brack in the gardens over on the Brack that they call the Christopher Columbus Gardens. Then we've got the air show for the Friday holiday on the 3rd, and then on Saturday on the Brack, the Sunday, not only the 3 islands having a service of Thanksgiving, but the tea party is taking place, and as Victoria Wheaton shared with us earlier, she'll be hosting it. So it's going to be a good fun. And then on the Monday, the 6th, the other holiday for the long weekend, is the birthday parade. The garden party as well, and then on the evening, sort of grand finale, fireworks, as Alfonso Wright shared with us, taking place on Grand Cayman on 5 sites simultaneously, so you can get a good vista as you look along the bay. So from the Palo Beach on 7 Mile there to the one in West Bay, to the one next to the Governor's by the Royal Palm site, if that's still around, and then of course from the harbour. Great way to enjoy the long holiday weekend and celebrate for anyone. 70 years, whether it's your almanada celebrating its 70th, whether it's you celebrating your 70th birthday, or whether it's as my uncle did. Is able to celebrate 70 years of marriage, or whether it's, in this case, someone sitting at the helm, 70 years. It speaks to much. It may also speak to not only to the tenacity and acumen of someone, but many would say without any reservation, it's been the sustained prayers of countless millions over the decades. And with that in mind, maybe we will harken back to that thing that we probably knew and took for granted, in which we need to again revisit the prayers of our forefathers for us and for future generations. And it brings me back to the rallying cry earlier relative to our youth. To what extent are we involved in and engaging them, where we make them feel that they have to appreciate the importance of actively engaging now and not necessarily waiting for tomorrow. But we who are the adult or at the helm, are we willing to assist them and help them to take up the mantle, to allow them to exercise their voices, and to appreciate the importance of them doing so now? It comes down to the word that Mr. Mickey always references, courage. is there sufficient courage? Now, some of us would hear and be reminded of the saying, where there's a will, there's a way. And there are those who would even be more prone and quick to share that there needs to be will, a political will. But what about our personal will, our social will? And for those who have the economic will, are we using our treasure, our financial resources in a more profitable way from the perspective of the societal economic profit, and not just the financial profit, the returns we get from investment? Take, for instance, if you were to look at the Cayman Islands, would you be surprised, as some have shared, why are we still so heavily dependent on fossil fuels? Why haven't we taken the lead, been more astute and proactive in earlier times in looking at other forms of energy generation? What, if any, when we think back to the discussion, I would say, on Wednesday, but in essence, it was yesterday, that we have to now consider the impact of our actions today on future events. And as we listen, perhaps this evening, as part of the presentation in Constitutional Hall, the former Georgetown Town Hall, whether we are in attendance in person or we listen to it on Breeze FM, are we taking away from that? What is it we can and should be doing relative to our impact? Are we able to look at not just our building systems, the materials we use, but how the whole planning process operates? Would we consider, as we've listened to the discussion yesterday, think about the use of cisterns, the use of more passive cooling through overhangs, and perhaps even wider, larger porches and the like? Now, does that cause us to have to spend more on planning fees and on construction costs? Is that covered outdoor space bring not just an important impact positively to our environmental and carbon footprint, or is it something that we believe is for someone else to do, and we are going to occupy this space in this way? Well, your perspective. 949-8037 or 949-6990, or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Kind compliments of Flo. I'll just share your thoughts. Now, a message on our WhatsApp earlier was sharing, and I was hoping that the person would have been able to respond to my question, to their comment. And the comment had to do with the notion that when a government, and it didn't say this government or last, just a government, and I wanted to clarify certain things that was known. So I would presume not just speaking to the elected government in this region, this jurisdiction, but an elected government in any democratic jurisdiction. So it says, when a government sets about allocating its resources, the way it's going to spend its money, should that government, and again they're talking about in a democracy, should that government be required, not unlike in a sense what we do in our finance committee to get approval, but should it be required when it's going to be a large amount of borrowing, or where the expenditure of the budget is in a certain type of expenditure? And the person said, for instance, if more than a certain percentage is going to be on roads construction or on buildings and the like, should that be prescribed? That needs to get an additional either approval from the populace, or at the very least an opportunity for it to be aired, just like it says with relation to consultation for new legislation. That information needs to be shared with the public before it's presented to the Legislative Assembly / Parliament for a decision. And I responded to the person and say, well, if we do that and it's a democracy, then are we again making it more cumbersome on the government to get through its agenda? Are we electing people and then constantly tying their hands? Now, as I read the message through again, maybe the comment is one that perhaps not only well-intentioned but has some wonderful sort of things to consider. If the implication is that just like most of us will look at our budget, and if we consider 50% of it is being spent on our mortgage or our rent, then how are we allocating the remaining 50%? Or if we say, as banks have done, well, we're not going to allow you to spend more than 30% or 40% of your income, subject to these other things being taken into account as well on your mortgage payment. Is that reasonable? And maybe this person will be able to respond. But in the interim, what is your thought? Do we require, whether through amendments to our public management and finance legislation, that governments can't spend more than a certain percentage? And if so, what would that be in certain areas during the budget cycle? Well, let's pause and take a break. It's the final one for this day's production, and we invite you to call and share your thoughts when we return. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Busy, busy, busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza, open Monday to Friday 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Stay clean, stay safe, hey man. Reflection sells gallons of sanitizer for only $25. Buy 2 clip-on sanitizers for just $5. Reflections has the best KN95 masks or reusable cloth masks, and you can get 2 for only $5. Blue surgical masks and face shields are available for children and adults, as well as 10 and 50 packs of black surgical masks. Volume discounts available at Reflections, Jose's Rubus, Reflections Hemp and Tobacco, all 5 Liquor for Less locations, and Food for Less, open 24 hours every day. Don't miss the Liquor for Less incredible priced better markdown. Hundreds of fine from $2.99. Cases of ice cold below wholesale prices. Save $10 off liters of absolute exclusively at Liquor for Less. Prices so low we can't say them on the radio.
After more than 20 years, the Cayman Islands Air Show is back. Start your Queen's Platinum Jubilee weekend on Friday, June 3rd by watching a thrilling air display on Public Beach, 7 Mile. Witness amazing acrobatic maneuvers as world-class pilots put on a stunning show. Then see the planes and meet the aviators at the Cayman Airways hangar. Parking permitted at designated sites with free shuttle buses to the events. For all the details and event lineup, visit CaymanAirShow.com. The Cayman Islands Air Show returns June 3rd.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us here today. And a quick reminder the East End and the North Side Dolphin Derby Fishing Tournament. It's going to take place this coming Saturday on the 28th of May. And it happened last weekend, but with the expected weather, it was rescheduled. So it's going to take place on Saturday coming. Just a reminder, you got a fishing time, lines in the water at 7 a.m. and lines out at 4 p.m. So your fishing area could be Frank Sound Channel to the Run Point Channel. And it's going to be a really, really wonderful time for the Eastern and Northside communities to come together fishing in such good way to celebrate the camaraderie. Invitation to the public to go to the way station at 4 o'clock. And of course, be a part of the whole celebrations and festivities at the Eastern Star Bar on the beach from 6 p.m. So maybe you just start from quite early and enjoy the wonderful time in the Eastern communities with all the friends over there. So that's this weekend. Hopefully you'll be out and about and enjoying all that they have to offer and see the beautiful part that makes up our country and its people. 8949-8037, 949-6990. As I look at the WhatsApp message from some of our listeners here and the perspective that they're sharing with us relative to the air show. I was trying to see if I could recall exactly what some of the planes were that Mr. Alfonso will remind us what we have. The helicopters that he said the Chinook together with the one of the Black Hawks coming across, hoping that this will be an annual event that we can have. It's been several decades since the air show has been here, and as we go about, not only are we going to be on the BRAC on the Saturday and then the air show here on the Friday, but it's a wonderful way for the entire country to see. And many of us not only love to be in planes going places, but just to see planes overhead, acrobatic display and the like. So it's going to be a wonderful long weekend for many, and I think that this is another good way to appreciate and understand the importance of the Jubilee events and the celebration, not just what it means perhaps to a country or to the Commonwealth, but for the individual. That sense of persistence and perseverance, but also the prayer that goes along with position. 8949-6990, 949-6990, or 949-8037. Of course, you can WhatsApp 925-3261, or if you wish, you can share your thoughts with us toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. How do you? Quick parting comment as I just read in the last WhatsApp message, and it's in relation to our comment from the individual who was talking about our actions and our attempts at recycling and the like. And this individual said, from the perspective of the time, the amount of water and the other resources that are being used, isn't of the view that the recycling effort, as we do it now, makes sense. So I responded and said, well, why not? If we don't recycle and we send all of the stuff to the landfill, isn't it going to be, an ever increasing, not just ISO or health hazard, but a mountain of trash? What do we do with it? And is it then that the answer is in the proposed, sort of waste to energy? We take it, we incinerate it, and then we produce energy. The person responded by saying, well, in the Cayman context, what are we doing to fuel, future needs? How can we harness what we have now? And perhaps the answer isn't so much in recycling, but is more in reducing. He said as an example, and I said to him, I can't look at the table that he sent. He shared that he did for his own purposes. Is buying an electric vehicle a better option than buying a hybrid or versus buying the regular internal combustion engine. And without reading, what he has there or analyzing, he just shared, he concluded that sticking even now with the prices being what they are, that financially it didn't make sense unless he had a number of things. One of which was, the ability to charge his vehicle using some other means than fossil fuel, so solar panel and the like. But also had to do with the cost of the vehicle and the replacement cost of its batteries and the like. So he said, his conclusion, unless we have a concerted, complete approach to the whole idea of renewables and energy conservation and environmental considerations, his perspective is no wonder we are where we are relative to this thing. And it's not that he said he is opposed to the idea of being environmentally conscious and sensitive or recycling. He just thinks that for someone, and I hope I didn't misread what he said, that it's a farce in how it's presented publicly, and that's probably wherein he says lies the growing debate as to whether it makes sense or not. Now, my response was, well, if we do something and it turns out not to be the best thing, but the act of doing, for instance, recycling, brings about a reduction at that time in the amount of stuff that goes to our landfill or that's reused, then perhaps that in itself would mean that the thing isn't all in vain. Now, for some of us, we've looked very closely at our purchasing habits, and we've been very, very sensitive to the packaging, to the way things are used, not just used and discarded one time, but it can be reused and reused. Now, for some, you would probably have already appreciated that if you buy something is to be reused for it to make sense, you have to get a certain number of uses before not only the increased cost, but the cost of manufacturing and produce that thing is sensible. Now, there are two things to perhaps consider from what this person shared. One is if we think of certain containers, like in many of our homes of yesteryear, when glass and the like was not always readily available, they may not have been the prettiest, matching set of glassware, but you were glad to have it because it was able to hold the hot water, or, you could reuse it, and it made sense. It wasn't because you were environmentally conscious. It was out of necessity. But he also said some of the metal containers that were there compared to the ones we make now, they were built to last. But he also said, secondly, is it then that the developed world, the larger industrialized nations, need to be more, willing to reduce their consumption and their waste in order for it to make a meaningful impact, and not to enter the developing world, extract its materials and resources, or whether it's iron ore, or whether it's some of the other things from nickel and the like, in order to build the batteries for the electric vehicles, or to use the natural minerals and resources in the developing nations for it to now be used in the developed nations. He makes a point, perhaps something to consider, and it may be very much what we do for ourselves in our own homes. And again, it is the collective that makes a difference, but that starts from the individual choice. And hopefully, when we think about it and think back to some of the things that we see in the published, more sort of acknowledged media, maybe it isn't all as truthful as it said, but maybe it isn't all, as nefarious as some have shared. Now, again, what extent the public can influence, maybe it starts with us being a part of the agenda. Again, just a quick reminder, the Jubilee events continue. Go to gov.ky and see the events. certainly be a part of all that unfolds, not just the closing wonderful display of fireworks simultaneously along the public beach and the waterfront from 5 separate locations on that Monday evening, the 6th public holiday, but be a part of the celebrations on the BRAC, be a part of all that is happening across the entire country, including either in person or via a Breeze FM, listening to much of the events as we bring it to you live. Now, want you to be a part of our discussions tomorrow, and certainly be prepared to enjoy and to be informed with our Business Buzz program in the morning. And if there's a way we can help to inform, enlighten, entertain, and engage you, let us know. As we close out the day, let's be mindful of where we are and what we're doing and what tomorrow brings, and trust that our actions are as productive and as positive, peaceful and pleasant. Until then, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient